Glutamine is one of the most popular fitness supplements out there on the market, but it still may be a little bit underrated. It's a common amino acid found in many protein-rich foods, and one of the most abundant amino acids found in the muscle, making up around 60% of the total amino acid content in one's muscle. Today we'll go through different uses and benefits of glutamine. Is it really so powerful and special amino acid that can aid in muscle recovery? We're going to bust some myths and see some fun facts and truths about glutamine. We're going to see how it can affect gut health and gut permeability, how this can indirectly affect our immunity, how can it aid in muscle growth and recovery, etc., etc. The point is that at the end, you know whether it's worth investing in glutamine for you or not. I've started supplementing 5 grams of glutamine almost every day, especially on the ones I train hard. Read the research, thought it's great for immunity support, gut health, and muscle building, so why not? Glutamine plays many roles in the body. It is crucial for biosynthesis of protein, regulation of acid-base balance in the kidneys, and supports growth and development. It's a precursor to many neurotransmitters which help synthesize glutathione, support gut health, and suppress inflammation. But is supplementing with glutamine going to significantly help you build muscle? Is the indirect role of glutamine on immunity and gut health actually more important? There is an enzyme in our body which helps us produce glutamine. It's called glutamine synthetase. Synthetase. I think I didn't butcher that up. Now, glutamine synthetase, the enzyme, is up in our muscles and it helps us produce glutamine, but there's also some of this enzyme in our brain, in our lungs and kidneys, and other different organs. What I'm trying to say is we can synthesize glutamine in our body. As a potent amino acid that we can make on our own, it's classified as a non-essential because 90% of all glutamine that we have, we're making it by ourselves. So there's only around 10% in our diet. But it is considered occasionally essential amino acid because many people who have burns, both physically and are burned out mentally, who are under a lot of physiological stresses, overworked, who are injured or suffer some infection or disease or have their immunity compromised, they need some glutamine to support their immune function. As many amino acids, glutamine is important. It plays a massive role in growth and development because it is involved in biosynthesis of protein, so cell differentiation and proliferation. Glutamine is also a precursor for certain neurotransmitters which can help us with mood and enhance recovery too. When we talk about gut or gut health, we need to be aware that the gut hosts a lot of bacteria that are involved in different processes in the body. Now, gut health is extremely important, not just in supporting our immunity and immune function, but it's also important for digestion of food, for absorption of nutrients, for metabolism of drugs, and all of these food processing so that we can turn food to energy depends on our gut health. Fun fact, the gut is actually a host of 100 trillion plus bacteria. Now we can have the good bacteria or the bad bacteria. If we have a lot of the bad bacteria, we can't really turn food into short fatty acids, which causes inflammation. And when our gut is inflamed, you ought to suffer both in your mood, in your muscle regeneration, recovery, immunity, etc. To support all of these factors, it is crucial to feed your good gut bacteria. And how do we do this? By eating more vegetables that are rich in fiber and by eating more prebiotic and probiotic rich foods. Anything else? Yep. Glutamine can also help too. Glutamine can help support gut health by maintaining the integrity of the lining in the digestive system, which means we can have less infections and diseases because less toxins can flood in our blood from the digestive tract. It sort of protects us from unknown agents. Glutamine has been shown to support gut health and many of its functions. It can support gut mucosal wall integrity, modulate inflammation, and improve neurotransmitter balance. By maintaining the integrity of the gut lining, glutamine can strengthen the barrier between the intestines and the blood. This means potential improvement in absorption and secretion, and fewer bacteria and toxins flood in the blood. how do you build muscle? So the basic thing is that you need to lift weights or do any sort of resistance training, maybe be in a caloric surplus and eat sufficient amount of protein. This is around 1.2 to 1.8 grams per kilogram of body weight. Otherwise, just fueling on glutamine without doing any resistance work won't help you gain any muscle, just to be clear. Now, proteins, which are important for muscle anabolism and growth, are made up of amino acids, and glutamine is one of those amino acids. But why is glutamine so special? Glutamine is one of the most abundant amino acids in the whole body. As we've said before, it makes 60% of the total amino acid content. It is needed building block of protein, which helps us build muscle and regenerate. Glutamine was also shown to reduce DOMS, or delayed onset of muscle soreness. It can improve strength, accelerate recovery, and it can improve muscle growth. Glutamine on its own won't cause muscle growth, but it can aid in muscle recovery and improve energy production by supporting our gut health and our immunity. A meta-analysis showed glutamine supplementation leads to reduced fatigue, improved synthesis of glycogen, which is important for muscle, and reduced accumulation of ammonia, which means lower inflammation and acidity. Another study in 60 healthy participants showed that supplementing with glutamine improved the recovery of muscle strength as well as reducing soreness after eccentric exercise. Immunity is a complex system of different cells that work to protect our bodies from unknown agents, pathogens, bacteria, diseases, infections, etc. Now, our immune system, to function properly, it uses different fuel sources, and one of these just happens to be glutamine. When we are burned or when we are stressed out, injured, when we are ill, our immunity is stimulated to work at a higher level, which actually depletes the glutamine stores. This means your glutamine is low and can compromise your immunity. It's like a loop. Now, working out is a physiological stressor. If you think what you're doing during workout, you're actually tearing the muscle down and you increase inflammation in the whole body. You need optimal recovery, high protein, enough sleep, rest, blah blah blah, to get that muscle to become stronger and lift more weights later on. But if you train without optimal recovery, you're more likely to get sick, and if you get sick, you can train less and you can't grow as much muscle. Glutamine is a fuel for immune cells like white blood cells or lymphocytes, which can protect us from different infections and diseases. Optimal glutamine levels can prevent us from getting sick. It can prevent from getting our glutamine levels depleted after our hard work. The glutamine that we supplemented with is going to be there to support muscle anabolism and our immunity and our immune function. This is how indirectly it can aid in muscle growth by improving immunity and the way we can regenerate after a hard workout. Since glutamine can be used even more than glucose by immune cells, it is crucial for supporting immune function. In hypercatabolic state, which means overtraining situations, the body starts breaking down muscles to get more glutamine, but its availability is compromised. Glutamine represents a source of fuel for immune cells like white blood cells or lymphocytes, which protect you against foreign invaders, bacteria, fungi, and fight different infections and diseases. It also may help you with the creation of cytokines, which control the development of other immune cells. We've seen that glutamine is a very important amino acid. We've cleared that up. Okay, now do you need to supplement with it? Well, here's the thing. Chances are, if you're working out constantly, you can get into a glutamine depletion, especially if sometimes you're burned out, you're stressed, you're working too much, you're hyperactive, you don't have optimal recovery. So for me, it's more like a prevention tool to not get sick and to support optimal muscle anabolism, but I wouldn't say it's completely essential for everyone who lifts weights. Why? Because most likely those who lift weights and want to build muscle will actually have their glutamine intake in their diet high enough. The standard diet provides around 3 to 6 grams of glutamine. Now, usually if you eat high protein foods, especially animal products like meat, seafood, eggs, and stuff like this, these contain a lot of glutamine, and just the fact that you're getting optimal protein amount can probably ensure you're getting sufficient glutamine stores. Now, I personally supplement with glutamine when it's winter time or when I'm overworking and when I don't feel like my recovery is optimal to sort of support my immunity and prevent from getting sick while training. Some rich sources of glutamine include eggs, beef, chicken, red kidney beans, rice, tofu, seafood, nuts, and cabbage. Just eat more of those to increase your glutamine intake. That's all I have for today, guys. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next one. If you want to check the blog that I've written on this, it goes a lot more in depth and has review on all of these things of how glutamine affects immunity, how glutamine impacts gut health and muscle recovery / growth. There's also a lot more research done, so if you want to check it out in depth, you can go at this blog right here, scroll it down, look, post some questions down below, and that's really it. Thank you guys for watching and stay tuned. Look at this beautiful glutamine powder. Look at this. Yeah, would you like some? I'll save it for later. Thanks for watching though. I appreciate you.